Welcome to Hood Champion Boxing and Sports. In boxing, you find a way to win or you find a way to lose. I'll be the first to admit it. I was wrong about David Benavidez and David Lemieux. I honestly felt, well, I said on paper, Benavidez should win. But I honestly thought that he was going to stand in there with his hands down and get careless and get caught. And David Lemieux showed something. He showed speed, he showed power, he showed precision, and he also showed a bit of patience. And those qualities, you're just not finding that in any other boxers at 168 pounds. And that left hook that he hit Lemieux with in the first round, I'm going to be honest with you. I'm not used to seeing David Benavidez fight the way he fought. He had his guard up. He was throwing super short shots. But what impressed me the most was the amount of power he was able to get off of those short, impactful shots. I mean, and Lemieux's not really chinny, you know. You hit Lemieux, you may hurt him, but that's where he's the most dangerous. But David Benavidez, I'll go ahead and I'll say it now. I honestly, you know, I don't think anyone up there at 168 beats him. I don't even think Charlo beat him. I don't think Charlo beat him. I don't think Canelo beat him. I just don't see that happening. You know, anything can happen in boxing. Hey man, I got it wrong, but to watch that performance, the speed, man, the speed of his hands are amazing. But when you look at it, we know what's left for him. He goes home in Phoenix, you know, and you know he showed everyone, you know, why he deserves, you know, a big fight. When you go in there and knock out a guy like Lemieux, and the thing is, Lemieux didn't just sit down. I told y'all, Lemieux's not a guy who's just gonna sit down and allow you to just hit him and he can curl up in the corner. Lemieux came back strong, and he was trying. And David Lemieux said, David Benavidez, he admitted that Lemieux threw one of those left hooks, and he said he caught the left hook. He said, but he felt that power, and he was like, whoa. Yes, those are David Benavidez words. He was like, whoa, I can't afford to get hit by nothing by this guy, especially that left hook. So what that told me was he wasn't in there with a washed-up David Lemieux. And he said he has the utmost respect for Lemieux because Lemieux, although he got hurt, he still had every intention of coming back and trying to knock Benavidez out. So as far as Benavidez and people calling him the Mexican monster, I think that's a fair title that he's been awarded. David Benavidez is just amazing, man. And what that shows you is when guys go back into their training camps, and if they're working to get better, what that shows you is he went back, and over the last 5 months where he was away from his wife, his kid, away from everybody, that's like a damn deployment, you know what I'm saying? This man left his family and went into the training camp and worked and worked and worked. And it showed in the ring. In that first round when he got him against the ropes after he hurt him with the hook, that combination that he threw off people, didn't that remind you of Roy Jones? Those damn uppercuts he was throwing, that was reminiscent of Roy Jones Jr. And when I was watching it, I was like, this is amazing. I just didn't have time to get to making videos. I was busy with the kids, man. But I was like, this is absolutely amazing. But I just didn't think he had that stuff in him. I didn't. But David Benavidez shows that there's levels to his game. And anyone gets in the ring with him, they want to fight at distance. They want to fight in close. David Benavidez can do it all. And I just think right now, he's put guys in a bad position. Charlo has to fight him. You know, Andrade would take the fight. But Benavidez wants Canelo. But Canelo probably won't fight him. But Benavidez showed, to me, he showed enough in that fight to where Canelo should give him an opportunity. But he may not. People keep talking about, you know, whether, you know, Benavidez is the true Mexican champion now. Let's stop all that, okay? people are gonna always have opinions, but Benavidez did beat Lemieux. Lemieux been boxing for 15 years. He's had a couple good wins, a 5-fight winning streak. Names are questionable, but he's a good opponent. Still had a lot of life in him, and he's extremely strong. Anyone Lemieux gets in the ring with, Lemieux has a chance. He just got in there and stayed in the pocket too long, and when he was looking to throw a shot, Benavidez countered him with like, you can't even defend against that damn shot. Benavidez has the height, and he didn't throw that hook from down by his waist. He was here up tight and just turned it over. And, Lemieux's temple, his head is right there. And once he hit him, you just saw the delayed reaction, and then he stumbled backwards. So that means Benavidez has a lot of power. But now, it is what it is, man. He's positioned himself as the mandatory challenger for the WBC's super middleweight title, which is owned by Canelo Alvarez. But Canelo Alvarez, man, he's got all the cards. Canelo Alvarez can pull the string, whatever strings he wants. So is he going to get that fight next? I don't know. But right now, I'd have to say and agree that David Benavidez is probably the strongest 168-pounder. Remember, Charlo's at 160, so you can't just throw Charlo in that category. Although he can make 168, he's really belongs down there at 160. But you got to give him his credit. I mean, Benavidez right now is 26-0 and 23 knockouts. He's entered the night ranked ESPN's number 2. So when you look at that, he's right behind Canelo, and that's the fight to make. That really is a fight to make. If they want to make Benavidez and Caleb Plant, Benavidez will beat Plant. Hands down, Benavidez beats Plant. And then it's just a step closer to Canelo. So basically, I did a video about Canelo being backed in the corner, and with the cherry picks, I put like 11 different opponents that he could potentially face. But Canelo has nowhere to run. And at this moment, there's no other opponent for him to face as far as who is probably becoming the most deserving. Benavidez is by winning fights the way he's winning, he's earning his shot. Now, if he goes and fights Plant next, because Canelo's going to be busy, and he clips Plant, then to be honest with you, there's nowhere else for Canelo to run, and he will be viewed as someone who's ducking Benavidez. And Canelo, I don't believe he's afraid of anyone. I do believe he'll look for the easiest opportunities to make history. But going in there against Benavidez will not be an easy task, and I think he knows that. So going forward, we'll see what happens with Benavidez, man. But I just don't think anybody beats him, and you got to give him credit. Benavidez has earned the nickname as a Mexican monster, and I just can't see anybody beating him. I mean, Charlo, Andrade. I think the best matchup for David Benavidez before going against Canelo, I think he clips Charlo. Not gonna say it's gonna be easy, but I think he clips him. I think he clips Plant with no problem. I think he has issues with Demetrius Andrade. If he can get in there and clip Demetrius Andrade, that will speak volumes. And people may say, "Oh, well, Demetrius Andrade, he's boring." We gotta stop doing that to Demetrius Andrade, man. Demetrius Andrade is not boring; he's avoided. And that sucks. All these years, Demetrius Andrade has been in boxing and never had a real signature fight because nobody will fight him. That is just wrong. I wish there were rules in place to stop that and make it to where fighters were forced to get in there with champions. I know there's been some opportunities presented to Demetrius Andrade that he may have turned down due to money issues and stuff like that. But at the same time, get a man $1 million a fight. Give him some money. I just think we just need to. I just think there needs to be some system in place, like they talk about making all the sanctioning bodies have common mandatories. That's a good step in the right direction. But let's figure out a way to where we can get these guys who hold belts, legitimate belts, get them opportunities to fight other champions with belts or fight the number one, or something more competitive. But to just take someone who has a belt and just put him in low-profile matches, because no one else wants to give him an opportunity because he's such a high risk, to me, that hurts that opponent. It hurts the sport of boxing. But boxing is not dead, and I don't think it'll ever die like people say. Boxing is doing very well. But that's my 2 cents on David Benavidez. I think the fight to make for him, an easy win is Plant. But as a good measuring stick, because Plant fought Canelo. If Benavidez clips him, we could have something to compare. But the most challenging fight outside of Canelo, excuse me, is Demetrius Andrade. I don't think Charlo's the most challenging fight. I think it is probably a more popular option, but not the most challenging. I think the most challenging fight for Benavidez is Andrade and then Canelo. But we'll see what he chooses to do. But that's my 2 cents, man. Like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. Shout out to the veterans. Y'all keep safe. And as always, I'm in the breeze.